Yes, this is Cosmo Lopez from Keep Up Records, filling in for Soundcrash, and we're here with Jake from the Herbaliser, just before the gig. And so, Jake, can you tell us what we can expect from the Herbaliser live experience, the gig tonight with Jazzanova?
It looks pretty exciting, actually. We were checking out Jazzanova in the sound check, and they've got a really tight production. I think they've got the same people as us, 7 people. Our band is still the same core of musicians that have been playing since 1996. I think in the mid-90s we were one of the first electric dance hip-hop bands that actually played live instead of just had a turntable-based show. Me growing up in the 80s and seeing things like James Brown and Bootsy Collins and George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic, it really moved me and made me want to be a musician. So when the time came, I figured we should try and do the Herbaliser live, and it was very important to incorporate the programmed hip-hop sample-based kind of beats and orchestral sounds that you couldn't really play live, but at the same time have live musicians. And kind of we've stuck to the same formula for nearly 20 years now, and I don't think what we're doing now is considered particularly progressive, but it's it's in-your-face meat and potatoes. Hip-hop meets funk, meets jazz, meets a bit of sample-delica.
So has the setup changed much since the last tour?
Well, actually, with our last album, for quite a while, we'd been wanting to work with a singer. We'd always worked with some, great rappers, and just to do something different, we thought we'd do an album with a singer. But with the new album, we decided to drop that idea. We had that experience and we've moved on, and we kind of went back to a blow your headphones, very mercenary era of more of a harder, darker, moodier sound. So nothing's particularly changed as far as the lineup of the musicians. As I said, it's the same band since 1996, but tonight we're going to be playing some new stuff off our new album that's coming out in October.
So speaking of the album, it's already recorded as far as I understand. And as you say, it's ready to go out. So any collaboration, title?
We kind of got a concept and a story that links every track on the album together about this imaginary world, and there's this evil person who he can't hear sounds, so he decides he has to invent a machine that takes away all of the sounds in the world. So we live in this sterile world of no sounds. And we, as the 7, the album's called The Return of the 7, and it's kind of like the Magnificent 7. We're these kind of banditos who come and break the machine and give the world its sound back. And it's loosely based around Simon Cowell.
So yeah, any collaborations like you said?
There's a track called The Lost Boy, which is another vocal, but working with a singer I've known since I was about 16. She's called Hannah Clive. She's a singer-songwriter, and she's usually got a very sweet kind of Edie Brickell kind of voice, but we've put her through lots of nasty overdrives and distortions and Dopplers and various things like that, and she sounds like an evil robot. And also, as far as the rappers, we've been working with a guy called Ghetto Socks, who comes from Halifax in Canada. He's amazing. He's just got an incredible flow. He's gaining popularity by the moment in North America. Done a lot of shows over in Europe, on the sort of small independent hip hop scene. But he's amazing. And London-based, we hooked up with a poet called George the Poet, who's currently, you see him on the BBC promoting the Hackney Festival at the moment. He's the guy with the hoodie on, of the helicopters. He's from Northwest London, and he's a genius. He just does this really relevant London-based poetry, but it's all that, a bit street.
What's your production style these days? Is it you start jamming with the band, or is it MPC based? You guys using Ableton? Can you tell us more about the production?
Yeah, we never kind of jam as a band really. We usually, Ollie or I will find a loop or a sample on a record. Maybe more and more these days it'll be something that I'll come up with a bass line, and then Ollie will put a drum on it, and we just build from the bottom slowly, adding samples, and we take our tracks to a certain level, and then we'll hand it over to the guys who do the horns in the band and see if they can come up with some horn samples, flute lines, and then we'll chop them up and treat them like a sample. Originally, when we started, it was harder for us to use live instruments because it just never sounded as good as the samples. But now I've got decent microphones and nice equipment in the studio. I can record keyboards. I've got a Fender Rhodes and a Mini Moog and clavinet, so we can get those old sounds, and you can, using plugins and stuff, you can make things sound funky and old. But it's like a layering process.
So you're not using Ableton at all?
The warping's good on Ableton, and we used it. We did a project about 18 months ago for Universal Music Publishing, where they gave us complete access to their 1970s music library of library music, and we were able to just do what we like: sample, rework, re-edit, build upon, and we did a whole album. It didn't get commercially released. It's only available for library music. And I treated and chopped up and tightened all the library music in Ableton. But there's something about the sound that's not quite the sound. You lose something in the sound of Ableton. They've got to work on their algorithms a little bit more, I think.
Are there any new artists that you're following at the moment? Is any new talent that you're interested in that you would like to talk about?
Recently heard the Monophonics album. I think that's on Ubiquity. It's amazing, kind of psych rock, bit of soul, well recorded. Sounds like a old funk record, but they're a modern band. I think they're from the Bay Area. It's completely awesome. No memory. Yeah, Second Class Citizen. Loving his stuff. Kind of amazing mix of folk and electronic, hip hop kind of beats. He's awesome. Kind of struggling beyond that. Frankenstees. There's a guy called Mr. Jason, who was the producer behind Porn Theatre Ushers, who were late 90s Boston hip-hop outfit on the independent scene. He's made an album and an EP called Frankenstees, and that's just really good, hard-hitting beats and rapping, proper hip-hop the way it's meant to be.
You listen to the Quakers album on Soundcrash?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. The Quakers is the best hip-hop album I've heard in the last 10 years. It's amazing, it's mind-blowing.
The production is just incredible. I don't know, that's just how I feel.
Yeah, well, it's not overproduced, it's just gritty, raw. I don't know what they were using, whether they're using an SP or something. I know Jeff Barry used to use an SP with Portishead, but yeah, that is brilliant hip-hop record.
So yeah, are there any other projects hanging around? I heard that Ollie's collaborating with Johnny Cuba from DSP, Dynamic Sound Compression there?
Yeah, they've got a project called Soundsci. Ollie and Johnny have known each other for years and years and years, and when Johnny was in Dynamic Syncopation, they used to come on tour with us in the Ninja Tune days and support us as DJs. That's in the hip-hop, the Herbaliser's hip-hop based, but sometimes we do this instrumental stuff that's more cinematic, whereas Soundsci is more straight ahead, meat and potatoes hip-hop. But there's I think that's 12-inch came out a couple of weeks ago, limited. Got myself a copy of that, and I think there's an album following pretty soon.
Just one last question before we finish. When you're working on the new album, do you have the live set in mind when you're producing the album, would you say, or how does the live set affect what you're actually producing when you're thinking about a new album, basically?
We always use, like I said at the start of the interview, that one of the criteria of doing the live show was that, as well as just having the musicians, we had to represent the sample-based, studio-based samples that are an essential part of the Herbaliser sound. So I'm not ashamed to say that we've always used playback, whether it's off a laptop or the instant replay machine, or Ollie's dropping in samples off Serato. So anything that's impossible to do live, like the sound of an orchestra or timpani drums and things that I'm sampling, we'll put it on our playback. So we know ultimately that anything that we do in the album we'll be able to represent live, and Serato's been pretty cool for us because I play the guitar and the bass, so I do a lot of guitar parts on the record, and I just give them to Ollie as audio files and he scratches them in, and he can scratch in horn lines and all sorts of different things, so there's a lot of versatility in Serato.
Great, so thanks for your time, and looking forward to the gig tonight.
Just to say thanks to Rob from Soundcrash. He's supported the Herbaliser for a long time, and yeah, it's always good to do a Soundcrash gig because it's a good, exciting lineup every time.
It's the return of the